Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Chasing Creativity. I'm Kiran Manral and I'm going to take a deep dive into what makes creative people tick, what inspires them, what helps them do what they do, and what do they do when their wellspring of creativity runs dry. How do they tackle that? And today with us, we have the very, very gorgeous Swastika Mukherjee. We all know her from Qala, we all know her from Paatal Lok, but she's done a whole lot of other fabulous work before that. And welcome to Chasing Creativity, Swastika. It's so good to talk to you.
I'm very happy to be here because I know we met a couple of years back in Kolkata and we had a conversation, and then we are Twitter friends and we keep bumping into each other on Twitter.
And off Twitter sometimes.
And having a lot of conversations there as well. So yeah, and I've read one of your books, which is my favorite, and I keep telling everybody, please iska kuch karo. Iske upar film banao, OTT mein kuch karo, because I really wanted to play that character. It was so intense and amazing from Missing Presumed Dead.
That's very kind of you. Thanks so much for that, Swastika. And you have the eyes for that character. Yes.
I'm extremely greedy as an actor, and I am always like trying to figure who has the rights and who is planning to do something on that book.
We should ask Sid about that, but that's another conversation for another time, Swastika. I know that as an actor, you're greedy for roles, as you just said, and you're constantly looking for stuff that you can do. I'm fascinated, completely fascinated by the spectrum of roles you've done, Swastika. You've done everything from a seductress to somebody who's a little disturbed, a little shy, a little worried. You've done this very powerful character in your most recent outing, Qala, which I've seen. As an actress, how do you go into the mind and into the psyche of each character when they're so different? What is your process? I'm going straight off into the question that I've been dying to ask for so very long.
See, I've been doing this for the last 23 years now. I have a huge body of work in the Bengali cinema, and which people are still quite unaware of. But I think with the advent of OTT, a lot of Bengali films and content is available on a lot of platforms. So if you want, you can go and watch them, because we have gotten used to watching things with subtitles nowadays. Yeah, the process which I initially followed when I started off, it's become very different, because you do the same thing for 23 years. My brain has got wired that way, and I think it happens with most of the actors who are in this profession forever, because I feel I've been doing this forever. I started my career when I was in my first year college, and I'm 42 now.
And I read that you started just to get pocket money.
Yeah, I did. I just thought that, it'll be good if I have something on my own, if I can do something where I can spend on stupid things, like didn't have very big agendas, but just buying clothes when I wanted, or just going to some restaurants with my friends, or not taking an auto, but taking a taxi, because otherwise it's always you're asking money from your mother and she'll be like, no, you need 5 rupees to come back home. Why do you need 500 bucks? So I just thought that, I don't need to lie to her and make up stories, so I'll just have some pocket money. And I was fooling around initially, I didn't take it seriously, and whatever work I was doing, horrible, terrible reviews used to come. Like
why would you say that?
Reviews used to come because I was so bad.
Right in the beginning.
Yeah, right in the beginning I was so bad, because I was not even thinking much about it. I was not even taking it seriously. I just thought that we'll go and, I'll make new friends and we'll work together and I'll have money.
So when did that switch come, Swastika? When did you start taking it seriously?
My father was a very well-known, famous actor in Bengal, and he had a body of work of almost 50 years and across all medium. He worked in radio, television, film, theatre, like mass media. Suddenly I realized that people were writing my name as my father's daughter and then saying how pathetic I was. I was like, no, I am really tarnishing my father's name. And if I have to be here, I need to be serious, and I need to have a lot of conversations with my father and, learn the ways, the no's and the how's. And since I started with TV and I was doing soap operas, so I also got the chance to face the camera on a daily basis. So, I could correct myself, I could watch myself on TV and then understand that this is working, this is not working. I used to take enormous tips from my father.
And what about the acting genes? Do you think you
Yeah,
inherited those?
I think it was there. It was there just lying in a very dormant state. And I just needed to ignite it. Through the years, it happened. I was doing a lot of work on TV, not only just soap operas. I was doing telefilms, I was doing short films, and everything that was, a lot of good work was happening in TV back then. Not the TV we know now. It was just not about Saas Sasur and, having endless marriages and waking up decked up like crazy. A lot of substantial work was happening on television when I started off like 20, 25 years back. And I worked with a lot of big actors. Back then, this demarcation was not there that these directors only do films and these directors only do TV. Nowadays, we have that demarcation. You don't see TV actors or TV directors exploring much of the other space. But I think 2 decades back, it was all merging into each other. And in Bengal, all the actors who are my age group, actors, actresses, we had all started with TV. Yeah, Param Broto Chatterjee, whom we are seeing a lot on OTT platforms nowadays, who is from Bengal. Jishu Sengupta, who is doing a lot in South Indian films, also from Bengal. Paoli Dam, who was recently there in a Amazon series. So we all started off, but all from TV, who are still, working here and doing so well in Bengal even now. It was a great space, I think, to learn, because I never learned acting in a school or, didn't go to an institution and go through that process of having teachers and mentors. It was all very self-taught with the guidance of my father. So it was a huge opportunity that I could correct myself on a daily basis.
That was, leading into my next question. Did you ever feel the need to actually go and study acting formally? Because you were on the job, you hit the floor running.
That is what actually the place that teaches you. You may learn in theory and, you may do workshops and do shorter versions of films or, I don't know, learn the technique. But until and unless you are on a set, you are living that life, you don't know what difference it's going to make, or whether you have it in yourself, or, it is your calling, or you really want to do that out of your passion and pursue it.
Was there a moment where you realized this is my calling, this is what I want to do? Because you said that you got into it, just for the heck of it. And after that, you were doing work and then you realized that, gosh, I need to pull up my socks and do better.
I started getting a lot of opportunities and they were varied. They were like extremely different from each other. And I just felt that I can learn so much more, because one day I'm playing a character who is docile and, shy. After 2 days, I'm going and playing a character which has so much of negative shades or gray shades. I'm playing a daughter, the next day I'm playing a mother, the next day I'm playing something else, a doctor, or the scope was endless. I somehow, felt that this is something that is going to really help me grow as a human being as well. My life is going to be extremely interesting, which just seems like boring nowadays. Yeah, I think, the best part of being in this profession is in one lifetime, you get to live millions of lives.
Absolutely.
You would never be able to have this experience otherwise. Feel like that person, talk like that person, think like that person, and living lives from 1900s or 1800s. You may do a period film like Qala was set in 1920 to 1940, that era. So how would I know what was happening then in so much depth? It's not possible to read everything, Why would I suddenly be interested in reading what was going on in some random women's life in 1920? It will never happen in our lives otherwise. But if I'm playing a role, I have to delve deep into it, do my own research, depend on what material or documents my director is providing me with, which she or he has done so much of research. What is the kind of lifestyle? What are the kind of houses? What clothes, what jewelry, cutleries. I mean, you live the life of those people. So That is the most extraordinary and beautiful thing of this profession, that you live so many lives and you tell so many stories which you are a writer, you would know. I mean,
We get to play God, Swastika, as a writer, but you have to like make
enact.
You have to enact those characters.
I have to enact those characters, but I am becoming a part of your storytelling. And also, people are getting to know such intricate details of lives that maybe would be oblivious otherwise.
That's true, which also I wonder, as you just said that the director has already done their share of research, which is fair enough. The writer has done their own share of research. When you go in to do your share of research, what is it that you bring to the table as a performer? What is it that you seek to learn about your character? They may have overlooked or they may have not considered.
A lot of it becomes flesh and blood through emotions. Otherwise, everything is on paper.
That's right.
I may read it in a different way. You may get affected in a different way. When we are reading a book or reading a script, we are all perceiving those characters in our own way, with our own emotions, our capacity of understanding that differ from one individual to another.
Mm-hmm.
Reading your book, Missing Presumed Dead, the way it affected me, or the way I thought, that this woman must be looking like this. Her household must be like this. She must be weeping like this, sitting in a corner which people are not getting to see or know. If somebody else is reading the book, their perception and thought of this woman, how she looks, what she wears, how long her hair is, what she likes to drink, what she likes to eat. We are all visualizing these or weaving stories in our head, reading what is already provided to us. So when I am projecting a character or playing a role, I will of course bring my own understanding, my experience. Memories play a big role. What triggers what and what gets tapped. You never know until unless you are there living the moment.
So has there been a role, I mean, coming back to Qala, because you said memories get triggered. You are a mother and you're a devoted mother. And this was a mother who was completely antipodal to all that you stand for as a parent. So how difficult was it for you to get in the skin?
It was very difficult, Kiran. It was very, very difficult. And, my friends and family and relatives who have watched the film actually wrote to me saying that this is the first time you had to act. Like act. There is absolutely no similarity or no connection with the person you are. So this is your, like, the acting you've not been acting for so long. This is the first time. I never saw Urmila as a negative character. Firstly, she had her own battles to fight. In that age, no man in the house has this huge baggage of taking the legacy forward, taking all the decisions in the household and life. And I feel that she somehow became a man and not a mother.
Okay, that's a very interesting take on the gender.
Yeah, I feel she just became the man in the family. She was thinking like a man, behaving like a man, talking and walking like a man, trying to grasp everything possible to take the name ahead. And, this huge longing for gaining respect. That's why she kept saying that नाम के आगे पंडित लिखना चाहिए, नाम के पीछे बाई नहीं. The difference in the space of respect, the difference that comes when you say Pandit so and so, or you say, and Pandit Urmila, the entire world, entire politics, everything changes. She had become a man and completely lost touch with the mother inside her. And also postpartum depression, which we are still so unaware of.
And we need to have more conversations around it.
We still, if a woman, even in 2023, if a woman after becoming a mother or delivering a child is not happy, we will completely shun the woman. Like, you've got the biggest gift of your life, you've become a mother, you have a baby. What is the problem? And what is the sadness? And what are you fighting? We can't conceive these mental health situations even now. And we are talking of a time which is in 1920. I always looked at Urmila, at this person who was fighting a battle all through her life until, she realized what she had and what she missed and, what she lost. I used to feel so miserable during the shoot also. And, I used to always cuddle Tripti. sit with her during breaks. And Anvita, that's our director, she was very scared that, my mother instinct is going to come on my face or it's just going to show. And she used to tell us, you both are not sitting together. Huh? Don't hold each other. You are not touching each other. You're not sitting each other. Just sit separately. Sit in other zones. And so many times I know the shot was NG, which is not good, because Anvita used to tell me, your eyes have changed, Swastika. No, 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 no. Get back to the character. Just go out and, just be there for 5-10 minutes, take a break and come. You're looking soft. No, I can see the love in your eyes. Not happening. It's not going to happen. So it was a struggle, to be so stone cold.
Yeah. And how is it for you as a person? Because you're a warm person. You're a light-hearted person. You're a happy person most of the times. To get into such a dark character, how do you take that switch off when you get off? You've learned it over the years. Yeah. It's just practice now.
Now it's just switch on and switch off. It's a practice now. Yeah. I think you just do it for so long. It's a practice. I mean, if somebody asks me to write a book, I'll take maybe 1 year to write 2 pages. But how it is for you. It's your job, it's your calling, it's your passion. You've been doing it. You finish one, you jump into another. So it's the same for us. It just becomes a little bit difficult if you're playing extremely intense characters. Like, you bring it back home with you. It becomes difficult to constantly do the switch off and on. And I feel, for actors who are sensitive, emotional, and really, gets involved and pours a lot of their personal emotional space, you're also bringing a bit of the character back with you, That guard is not always there. This is me, this is Urmila, and this is where Urmila is going to stay, and this is where I'm going to stay. It merges in some point. So, it's not that I'm going to bring back the grey shade or, places where she was really unkind. Not bring the unkindness back with me, but just the sadness. The sad life that she was living was a difficult, sad, lonely life. So that also affects the actors. It's not always, okay, I'm done with it now. It's pack up and I'm going home a happy person. I used to go back home very sad. It's very difficult to... Utna zabardast switch on, switch off is not possible, humanly not possible. The whole day you are playing something that is so morbid. Pack up ho gaya, you can't start having, thumbs up and chocolates and let's party, guys.
So it's a professional hazard, I would say. So Swastika, tell me about any particular roles that you're proud of and that you can say that I'm glad I did.
It's a long, long list. I've done more than 100 films. And I have picked few characters from films and I've mentioned them in my earlier interviews. And then I've got calls from directors saying, oh, you did not feel this film was good enough, or you didn't think this role of yours could have been your favorite or top 5 or top 10. I'm like, yeah, I have to then mention tons of them. But yeah, I think I've done a lot of incredible work in Bengali cinema and played characters that, might be a dream for actors to play. Yeah, there's a film called Bhooter Bhabishyat, which is a cult film actually in Bengal. Yeah, and wherever I've traveled all across the world, not met a Bengali who has not watched the film more than a couple of times. So that one film is there which released around 2010 and it's about ghosts.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I do. I'm not scared. I can just stay alone even after watching a horror film. I prefer not, but it's fine. But I do believe in supernatural, paranormal.
And you've done some roles which are quite out of the box, completely out of the box.
Yes, and hated by the censor board. There was a time where all the films I was doing, they were going to the revision committee. Then I just started telling my directors and producers that I think censor board is so tired with me now by sending my films to revision committee or telling that this character just needs to be omitted from the film because it's not socially acceptable. I thought that there was a period of time where they used to just see my name in the cast list. Without even seeing the film, they would send it to the revision committee that this woman must be saying and doing things that are not socially acceptable. So just We don't want to watch, just throw it to the revision committee already.
How do you pick the roles that you do?
It's always, on, I think my biggest criteria is what I'm contributing in a film, how substantial my character is, and what I can bring on the table that people are going to remember it. It's not something you watch, have popcorn and have cold drinks, and then you forget about it already before even you reach home. My key points for choosing has always been how can I make it unforgettable? What difference is it making, in the lives of the viewers? If it can inspire women who are vulnerable, or who are fighting their own battles, who are lonely, who are sad. We all, I think, gain our strength and courage from art, whether it's a book or it's a painting or, it's visiting museums or going and seeing exhibitions or watching films, theater. Art has been art has always played a very big role in bringing about a change or, making a difference in people's lives. And I think audiovisual medium is the strongest of it all. It really reaches to the audience in the most effective way. And it's important that women are all not always shown in one particular light.
So do you use the Bechdel test when you look at your characters?
No, I just feel that there are certain things like I would never agree to something which is regressive. I would never agree to something where, you just see women living their lives on their terms and at the end of the film go on telling sorry to the entire world for living their lives on their terms. Whether it's about getting pregnant or having a child or sleeping with someone or not deciding to have a child or not deciding to live with the parents. It can be any kind of decision. But we see women taking those decisions in the course of a film. And at the end of the film, they are just constantly sorry about it.
So there is that kind of responsibility you have as an actor when you take a role.
Yeah, of course. I can't do something I have completely zero belief in. I just stand against it with all my entirety. And then I go and play a character, which is all that I cannot digest. Because, people do relate to the characters we are playing. They are talking about it. They are taking refuge in those characters. Like when we see a Vidya Balan really, taking a stand, we feel proud as a woman that somebody is doing it. We don't think that, oh, it's a film, it's all fiction. We do like the fact that this woman in her life has taken this stand. So definitely it affects us in some way. So how do I go and preach a character or say be a part of a story which is just pushing us back, many, many years? Just regressive things.
Do you also go by gut instinct when you pick a role? When you choose a role, people might tell you that this doesn't look like something would be very good or it doesn't seem interesting, but you look at it, you read it and you think, okay, this has a chance, this has a spark.
Yeah, it happens. I've played actually a lot of characters in films where I was the third or the fourth option. Like it had gone to 3 other people before me and they all refused. And I was the fourth one and I said yes to it. And then the film worked and the character worked. So it also depends on what you are putting in. Practically speaking, if I talk about Paatal Lok and my character in it, Dolly, it has, if you count, you'll see I have 7 or 8 scenes in the entire 10 episodes. So it's almost like 7 hours of content and I had only 7 scenes.
But they were so impactful.
Yeah. So when I read it, I could have thought that I have nothing to do. And they are mostly all conversations happening with a dog. That was a space other than the enacting the anxiety part of it, which also women related in such a, wholesome way, like a lesser important entity in a professional world. Like who is bothered about the wife? Better things to do and cater to. But I feel my connection happened so massively that reached out to the audience as well. But if you look at it on pen and paper and on script, it was just a very normal tertiary role, only 6 or 7 scenes in a 7-hour content, and it also depends on the actors of what they are doing with it.
But also I felt that role was a very crucial role in the entire way the entire series
yes, of course.
unfolded.
Yeah, you have to just go with your instinct, I think. It's not about calculating how many scenes and what's the quantity and what clothes are you wearing and are you looking hot or nice and what's happening with your makeup. Because it had like no makeup. I was just looking trash only mostly all the time.
We'll call it vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I connected so much with the character. And of course, that comes across in the same way when an audience is watching it.
Absolutely. Now, are there any characters you still have to play that you long to play, that you wish are being written for you? Your dream characters, so to speak.
I definitely don't want to play a mother to a 40-year-old. Those offers also come. And I'm like, this man's age is 40. I'm 42. How am I supposed to play this guy's mother? I mean, with what amount of prosthetics? I mean, look at me. How can I play a mother to a 40? I mean, those offers also come. And if I don't know the hero or the protagonist that well, I ask my team that please Google and find out what is the age of this man. According to that, I'm going to decide, and it's annoying. Take actors who are of that age to play a mother. I mean, I am going to play a mother to somebody who is my age only.
That ageism still persists.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I get so angry, mad angry at times that how are you asking me to play a mother to somebody who is of my age? And now I've decided that I will just keep the bracket of my kid's age on screen till 18. उसके ऊपर तो मैं नहीं करूँगी और बहुत हो गया.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'm still to explore characters who are maybe physically challenged. I have not played any character ever who has a deficiency in that physical space or a special person.
Mm-hmm.
That area I've not really explored. And also I want to explore the negative space a bit.
More?
Like negative, like not Urmila negative. Really negative, yeah. The evil people.
So that will be a complete shift away from
yeah, so yeah, I can, my friends will be happy that I'm acting.
When you get into the mind of a character, it's not easy because you are one person, you come with your own baggage. You have to inhabit the skin of a character that someone else has written. Can you just take me to your process of doing this? How do you make this person flesh and blood for you to live that person?
There is no process, Kiran. I know that I've been asked this question a lot of times before, and I'm sure the listeners get frustrated because I can't give an interesting answer. But I am a very intuitive person by nature. I am not somebody who can really calculate and, think and plan, and I know the graph and this is this, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I think for us, script is the Bible. So I really read it a lot and understand the nuances and, the space. And nowadays, a very important exercise that actors are doing along with their directors is that, you get very deeply involved in the subtext. We see a character or we see a film or a series. There is a starting point and a finishing point, right? Somebody maybe, the character maybe we are seeing the character when that person is 40 or 30 or in school or college. There is a life that they have lived before that, which we don't get to see on screen. Like, say, if I'm talking about, say, Pathan, for example. We are seeing Shah Rukh Khan from a point where he's, say, already fighting, has become a, agent. We are not seeing Shah Rukh Khan how he was when he was in school or college. We don't see Pathan's life when Pathan was in school and Pathan was in college.
And Pathan was not Pathan.
Yeah. But that life that man has lived, right? That has also shaped up what or who he is today. So that's the exercise that we are doing all the time nowadays, that when we are preparing a character, we discuss more of the life that is not shown or it's not in the script. Because that life lived is also making the person who he or she is today, whom we get to see on screen. So, how was her parents? How was her friend circle? What's her favorite place to go? What she likes to eat? What's her favorite color? What kind of clothes she likes to, wear? What's her chemistry with her parents, friends, family, relatives? This is all the subtext that we don't see on screen. We just see a person from where the story starts.
So now having this background sort of helps you flesh it out better.
Character zyada, it looks flesh and blood. We also know her history. Like, I know her life. Yeah, so if we talk about criminal justice, we are seeing my character from a point where I have 2 children who are grown up. One is missing. But what happened in the earlier marriage? Why didn't it work? Where was I working? If I was an actress, what kind of films I was a part of? Why did I leave it? We don't see the story being told on screen. But if I know this story, I know the person.
And you know how to bring that person to life
so
on
then
screen.
I know her fully. Like how we know our friends. We know what they like and what they don't like. It's like you met Shrishti today. You're just seeing her today. I know what kind of life she has lived in the last 10 years. So I just have a better understanding of her, which you will not have.
Definitely not have. Yes.
Yeah, so that is it. You're just meeting a person on screen. And I just meet the person from way before.
What does Swastika do to recharge her batteries? How do you fuel yourself?
Watch trash. I dedicate 2 days in a month or whenever I have free time or half a day or one day where I watch all horrible, obnoxious, like absolutely shit. Yeah, because see, I play very intense characters and mostly I watch a lot of good content. That's where I learn. I mean, I have to learn from somewhere. I can't learn from books. I have to learn from other actors whom I really look up to or I really feel they're phenomenal. Like I will watch a Mayor of Easttown twice to just learn. I mean, how is Kate Winslet handling a situation or emoting? And that's how I also try and remember so that I can use it somewhere where I will need it. I also have to remember where to use it. It's a very complicated process of learning and growing. It's not that you'll see something, you'll like it, you're storing it, fine. But you will also have to know where to use that stored information or, whatever.
In your own work.
Yeah. You also have to know that.
So trash is sort of your cleanser, your palate
It's
cleanser.
Like just watch something where you don't need to put your head into, your mind into. It's not affecting you, your heart and soul. You can just go 10 times to the kitchen to bring 10 different things without pausing. Something is going on.
Your detox is trash watching.
Yeah. And I think it's very important, at least for me.
What do you do when you really want to switch off, so to speak? As an artist, as a creative person, and I don't know if you feel that, I think most of us feel that there are points where we just want to switch off. And we not want to do anything, not want to see anything. You need a sort of space of emptiness in order to create. Does that happen with you also?
See, I live alone. So there is either way a lot of empty space. And my parents are gone. My daughter stays abroad. So there's a lot of emptiness either way. And I don't think I need more empty spaces at all. I think for the last 3-4 months, maybe I've just started enjoying alone space. I was struggling with it because I've forever stayed with my parents. A lot of people in the house, a lot of pets, house helps, a very big throbbing family of a lot of members. And then it has just become silent and more silent and more silent. And now it's just me and my pet and my house help in Calcutta. In Bombay, it's just me. So it has taken a lot of time and a lot of struggle for me to be okay that, I'm alone in a house. And I constantly don't need to call people to talk or, be engaged in something where I am not feeling the phobia constantly that I'm alone. So it's been a struggle, but I think I've just started enjoying it. I mean, I will choose to stay alone ghar pe and not go out or hang out constantly because I don't want to go back home alone. So it's a recent development and I just hope it stays like that for some time before again things crumble down.
To shift tracks a bit, what advice would you give somebody getting into the space of acting after 23 years of...
You have to be very, very patient because nothing is going to happen overnight. Becoming a known person, public figure, famous, now in the world of social media, where fame comes in 90 seconds. You can just stand in the middle of the road, do some jing bang, play a trendy music and, you'll have so many views and, you're famous in your instant world and circle. I feel it's very easy to become known and famous, but to survive once you have become famous and you have become known and you're a public figure or you're a known person, I think to survive there and to constantly do work where you're going to become better than your last one, that is the biggest challenge. It's very important for me that people see my work and say that this is even better than your last one. You're always competing with yourself. I don't want to hear ever that your last work was better than what you've done now. It always has to be, your last work has to be the best. So that's how you keep growing, learning. You should never be happy with, your achievements. That, I've had it enough. Now it doesn't matter. That'll be the end of it. So you have to be very patient. I think you can't become self-obsessed. You should never think you're the center of the universe, because you are not. And
that's a pitfall that a lot of newcomers do tend to fall into.
Yeah, I mean, you just suddenly overnight you have 2 million followers on Instagram. You just start thinking you've arrived. And bye. It's like a hi, bye. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifices you need to make in your personal space also.
So overnight success comes after many years.
Overnight success, I don't think it ever comes. You just think it's going to happen with the next one. Like your life is going to change. I don't know in what way, but it doesn't happen. You just wake up the next morning and you feel the same blah. Like after, I think Qala released and 1 week of madness was going on everywhere. I called Anvita and I said, Anvita, what are you doing? How are you feeling? What's happening? She was like, just having my coffee and I was reading a book. And just in that tone, I thought I'm going to really hear some exuberant, oh my God, what has happened to us? And she just sounded same. I mean, just as if nothing has happened in her life. And I was like, okay, enjoy your coffee. Bye. And I'm like, okay.
And life goes on.
Yeah, life goes on. So, yeah.
And the best is yet to come, Swastika. Thank you so much for your time and this conversation.
Manifest. That's a new word I've learned now. Everybody is manifesting everything. So I just keep using that word. I don't know what I'm using it for, but I'm like, okay.
You're manifesting it for the best yet to come.
Yes. I'll be there in Pathan too.
Yes, you will. And we will see her in Pathan too.
Yeah, that's what I'm manifesting. Guys, don't take this seriously. I'm manifesting, okay?
The universe is listening.
Yeah, just want universe to listen, that's all.
Thanks a ton. And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Chasing Creativity with Swastika Mukherjee. Thank you so much, Swastika, for your time. And we look forward to seeing more of your work.